Oh man, look what I got to drive today. This is the all-new 2026 GMC Sierra EV AT4. Yes, the off-road variant. Let's get going. All right, so as many of you know, or maybe don't know, I've been a huge fan of the Sierra EV Denali since it came out. And, you know, I've spent some time in it, in different places, different areas, different ways of using the truck, basically, is what I want to say. But the one area that I have not used the Sierra EV is kind of like in an off-road environment. Well, welcome to the 2026 GMC Sierra EV AT4. Yes, the off-road variant of the Sierra EV. It's been a little while coming. I know many of us have been anticipating this, if you're a fan of the EVs, of course. And so today I am just outside of Detroit, Michigan, you know, the home of the Sierra EV. We're looking to see what this can do, and you know, I haven't been to this off-road location as of yet, but what we're gonna be able to do in an off-road location. Now, the cool part is it's been raining since yesterday. It's raining a little bit right now. So what I'm looking forward to is the fact that we're gonna have a little bit of muck and mud out there. So looking forward to seeing what this truck can do. Obviously, I'll be doing another walk around in the truck to talk about, you know, what's new, what's different, and so on, so you can watch that as well. But this video is going to be kind of cool because you know, I've had the opportunity to take the Hummer EV in a pretty extreme off-road in Moab, and I just want to see what the Sierra EV is capable of, which is really more, I think, realistic off-roading today as to what the average person would do with their truck. You know, most of us aren't taking our vehicles all the way out to Moab and doing that, but this is for the majority of us who live within a city, but we do, you know, go camping, we do, you know, do different things where we're gonna have to go off-roading a little bit, so to speak. So, you know, again, I'll talk to more of the features on this truck. Obviously, got the more aggressive tires. We have some looks differences in terms of the black area of the grille, the red toe hooks, and so on, like we're used to seeing in the gas-powered AT4s. But yeah, we're gonna do that. Right now, I'm obviously driving on road. I'm on the, you know, the normal streets in terms of getting to where the location is. The nice part is I don't feel any ride sacrifice. Again, I've spent you know, a few days consistently in the Denali, which has the 24-inch wheels. This obviously has knobbier tires, not street wheels, but I'm not getting a lot of road noise feedback. I don't have any radio on, obviously. It's just me speaking. I don't think you can hear anything even through the cameras in terms of any road noise feedback. So that's obviously great, first and foremost. It's a heavier vehicle, so of course it's planted. But yeah, really anxious to see what it's going to do off-road, and I'll be talking to you a little bit more soon about that. Now, before we get to the off-roading though, another one of my favorite features I want to show you in this Sierra EV, and obviously in multiple GMC vehicles now, but is the hands-free Super Cruise driving system. Here I am on 4-lane, well, 8-lane if you want to consider the other 4 come the other way, but 4 lanes going in my direction. Highway here just outside of Detroit. I've got the Super Cruise on, and it is doing what it needs to do. Slows down, speeds up accordingly. It'll actually signal to go into another lane, so if I'm coming to upcoming traffic, and I think it's going to happen here momentarily. But hundreds of thousands of miles GM has mapped out for these Super Cruise, and here we go now. It's actually literally switching lanes for me because we're coming up on slower vehicles. I saw the lane beside me was clear. Let's get around these vehicles and keep on going. Absolutely phenomenal system. But I was going to say hundreds of thousands of miles GM has mapped out. The cool part is it used to only be on divided highways like the one I'm on now. However, the Super Cruise has now been adapted to a lot actually of 2-lane oncoming traffic highways, if you can believe that or not. And I've used that on the Acadia, the Sierra, pardon me, if I could speak properly. So I've used it on a couple of different GMC vehicles already, and it works flawlessly. It takes a little bit to get used to. There's no question. It takes, you know, there is some adjustment period, but once you start using it, it's just so nice. You can have your coffee. You absolutely still have to keep your eyes on the road. It is a very, you know, in-tune system. It has a green light here on top of the steering wheel. That indicates everything is good. You're watching. It will flash blue if there's starting to be an issue. Then it'll flash red.
Toward Michigan 150, Rochester.
Sorry, my navigation is obviously on here, but it'll give you different indications, and it'll actually kick the system off if you're not paying attention, pull you over, whatever it needs to do to keep things safe. So you can't just, you know, put this on and fall asleep or play video games like some of the competitors, because it's still meant for you to be alert. But you can have your breakfast sandwich, you can have your coffee, as long as you're keeping your eyes on the road, and this will do everything you need to do. I'm already, look at this, it's already turning back into the middle lane now. It doesn't need to keep you out of the outside lane any longer than it has to. So very cool system. The Super Cruise system, again, just another amazing piece of this vehicle. I have literally just left the Huntsman Club after literally taking this truck off-road. I think we got a little bit lucky on my drive today, because yesterday they didn't have what we have today, which was mud, because it rained last night, it rained this morning, rained yesterday. So it was, you know, we're going through some fields and stuff, but it was very grassy, very slippery underneath, which was good because it allowed me and the other people doing the drive to, you know, use terrain mode, which I did, use off-road mode, which, you know, I did. I got, you know, an idea of the ground clearance, because there was some big ruts. I was actually the last truck of about, I think, 6 or 7 that was, you know, in this train of trucks basically. So they all chewed up the mud before myself, and of course, you know, that left quite the trenches for me. And, you know, I think perhaps in my normal, you know, GMC Sierra, I would have gotten hung up, gotten stuck, but not so with this, with the 35-inch tires, with the 2-inch lift. It was very impressive. Now, one of the things I haven't talked about yet, and you know, something I was looking to try and see once we had the, you know, off-road component, was the fact that this does not share the same identical suspension that we're seeing in the Denali. The Denali comes with the air ride adaptive suspension. This does not. They've opted for just a coil spring suspension for this, and I don't think that that's necessarily a bad idea. Why overcomplicate things? Why make things more expensive? Because we had some pretty big hammer down things, and I didn't really notice it that much, to be honest with you. So, you know, a little more rubber on the tires. These are 18-inch tires with 18-inch wheels, pardon me, with 35-inch tires versus 24-inch tires on the Denali, for an example. Obviously not designed for off-road, clearly, but so that is one of the things that are different. The other couple things that are different with this Sierra AT4, it does have the 2-inch ground clearance more, so it has due to a 2-inch lift, so it has a 2-inch lift. I'm just talking about these because these are off-road things. Some exterior differences: it has, you know, a little more black on the outside of the front where the grille is. It has red toe hooks and so on. But this truck also comes standard with you know, a lot of things too. It comes standard with the multi-pro tailgate, comes standard with the multi-flex midgate, comes standard with the Super Cruise, and the max range. This thing will pull 12,300 pounds. It'll go almost 500 miles worth of range. It'll go, which is, you know, almost 800 kilometers. So that should erase the range anxiety for many people, depending again on what you're using it for. But getting back to the off-road, it was slick, it was slippery, but I mean, it did it no problem. Not that I expected anything differently, but it's just nice to see that they have the capability in this truck to get you out of a sticky situation, to go into your camp if there's been a washout, you know, whatever it might be, to get through those situations. But then also, where you're probably, even the people who buy an AT4 primarily are still driving minimum of 75% on highway, on road, taking your kids to the hockey game, taking your kids to soccer, going to the movies, going to the grocery store, and you don't want a truck that's going to be rough or noisy. And this is none of that. So even with the more aggressive tires on this truck, and you know, with the bigger lift, I don't feel that. Especially, I just, like I said, came out of riding the Denali EV and Sierra, of course, and I don't really notice a big difference between the two in terms of the ride quality. Denali may be a little bit better. Of course, you do have the air ride for the road, but very, very impressed with the AT4. Now, the AT4 comes in at a bit higher price, mainly again because it comes with the highest battery package. It comes with all the things essentially, so you can actually opt in and get a Denali for less money than the AT4. But once you option up the Denali, then, you know, then they're same category basically for the most part. But yeah, great, you know, great ride in this, very comfortable. Obviously the power is great, and you notice that instantaneous power. It was almost too much when we were off-road. The terrain mode worked very well, by the way. The terrain mode gives you that one pedal drive, and it's almost surprising at first, because as soon as you let off the gas, it's like you're literally applying the brake. It's just, you know, it just brings you forward, but it does what it's supposed to do and allows you just to have the control over the gas pedal when you're going through tight, precarious situations. So overall, is this a truck that I would take to Moab and, you know, these hardcore off-road? No, but that's not what this is designed for. This is designed for the average truck person who is going hunting, who is going fishing, who is going to their camp, you know, that kind of thing. And I think it does that superbly. And I can't wait to like get one for a longer time so I can take it up in Canada and do some fun stuff up there. But in the meantime, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already checked it out, I do have a walk around video on this as well, that goes over some of the differences also, and so you can see it a little bit better. If you have any questions, as always, reach out, comment, whatever it may be. Thanks for watching. Take care.